Anne Sado is the president of George Brown College in Toronto. She spoke with us at a Strategic Capability Network event about how the college underwent a major transformation. Why did George Brown need to undergo a major transformation?
There was a lot of really good things around the organization, the institution. But the reality is that any organization, I think, should always be looking at where they are and where they want to be. And even if you're excellent, I don't think you can be lulled into complacency. I think you have to take a look at where you need to go. And the environment changes all around us. So if we're not aware of what's happening all around us, then we might not be relevant. So when I took over at George Brown, it was a good institution. It had weathered a lot of government cutbacks back in the late the mid 1990s, so things were in order. But it was an opportunity to take it to a next step.
What were some of the changes that took place?
Well, I think the major changes and the most significant one that we went through was rebranding the college. When I joined the college, there had been a decision made, or at least a direction suggested, that they were going to change the name of the college from George Brown College to the Toronto City College. We had been using that as part of our name from a wording point of view and part of our logo for many, many years. And I think the senior team and the board at the time wanted to cement that the recognition that we were the college in the core of the city, and that represented who we were and what we did in a way that would better be articulated by a name change. Well, I found that we didn't have the evidence to support that name change, and by bringing in a seasoned marketing executive and doing the research to really understand what brand equity we really had, we found that it was the wrong decision to change the name, and we decided that we would stay with George Brown College, but we really needed to rebrand and set a direction. So we undertook significant research to understand what we stood for, what our mission and vision was, how we were perceived both externally and internally. We created a statement that we call our Path to Leadership, which was an embodiment of our mission, vision, and values. We did extensive research to come up with a brand identity that would be consistent. And a logo is not just a name. It's really an embodiment of what an organization is and what it stands for. And so we were able to create something, and we were able to standardize and make consistent something that had been allowed to become more amorphous and creative in each part of the organization, such that we didn't have a single identity anymore. And we were really trying to create a single college as opposed to a collection of different faculties and divisions. The other part of the work that I did in terms of focusing George Brown is to really make sure, and especially since I wasn't from an academic background, to make sure that people understood that our core mission was excellence in teaching and learning. It is about applied education, but it's how we teach that, how we ensure that our graduates are going to be successful in their future careers. So we spent a lot of effort creating an academic plan which broadly engaged the whole college community. We were focused on how do we make sure that we do have excellence in teaching and learning as our core mission, and how are we going to ensure that we're recognized for that. Students, when they come to college, do come for a particular program of interest, but they also look at the reputation of that program. Is that program relevant? Is it current? Is it well connected to industry? Am I going to have the opportunity to get the job that I'm interested in? And so by focusing on how we teach, what we teach, that we have skilled teachers in the classroom. Our faculty are largely dual professionals. They have a lot of hands-on industry experience. We help them to be excellent teachers, but you can't replace years of work experience. They have to come with that. But we have to provide an environment for them that supports that teaching and learning, the right facilities, the right classrooms, the right technology. So we spent a lot of time, in fact, literally since 2004, creating something that's now embedded into how we do things by virtue of an academic plan and not a standalone strategy that's embedded in how we do things.